All right, so today we are looking at ordering positive and negative numbers. All right, so it says read the problem below, then explore how to use the number line to order the positive and negative numbers. Okay, so very similar to what we were when we were comparing, but now we're just going to have more of a list. So Five Friend played the game where you earn positive and negative points. Their final scores were negative 3.5, 2, negative 3, 1, negative 1, 1.5. What was the highest score? What was the lowest score? So you can see that they've plotted the points. So negative 3.5 here, positive 2, negative 3, negative 1, and 1.5, okay, or 1.5. So remember always, these are the greater numbers. These are the smaller numbers. So you can see very easily that 2 is greater, right? This is the highest score. And this would be the lowest score at negative 3.5. Okay? So you can compare the positions of the numbers on the number line, right? Negative 3 is to the left of, negative 3.5 is to the left of negative 3. So negative 3.5 is less than negative 3. Negative 3 is to the left of negative 1. So negative 3 is less than negative 1. Negative 1 is to the left of 1.5. So negative 1 is less than 1.5. And 1.5 is to the left of 2. So 1.5 is less than 2. Okay? And you can also write those the opposite way as well. You can compare the positions of the number on the number line another way. So like going the backwards way, right? 2 is to the right of 1.5. So 2 is greater than 1.5, right? It's the opposite of this one. 1.5 is to the right of negative 1. So 1.5 is greater than negative 1. Negative 1 is to the right of negative 3. So negative 1 is greater than negative 3. Think about that money, right? You'd rather only owe $1 than $3. Negative 3 is to the right of negative 5. So negative 3 is greater than negative 3.5. And you can see it's just the opposite of what we wrote up here. Okay. All right, let's turn the page. So now use the number line to order the numbers and solve the problem. So look at first, model it, order the numbers from least to greatest. Okay, so here's the model it. So from least all the way down to the greatest. It's important, remember, to read the directions. So we're going to start with that negative 3.5. Then we had a negative 3. Then we had a negative 1.5. Nope, not 1.5. I lied. Sorry about that. We had a negative 1. And then we had a positive 1.5 and then a positive 2. Okay? Let's make sure we got them all. Negative 3.5, negative 3, negative 1, 1.5, and 2. Yep. Okay. So look at the second model. Order them from greatest to least. So now we're going to go backwards. So our greatest started at 2, and then we worked our way down. So 1.5, negative 1, negative 3, and negative 3.5. Okay? What was the lowest score? So remember, the lowest score was the negative 3.5, right? Because it's the farthest to the left. Okay, what was the highest score? Well, the 2, because it's the farthest to the right. Okay, explain how to use the number line to order the numbers. Well, once they're graphed on the number line, then we can very easily see which one is the farthest to the left, all the way up to which one's the farthest to the right. Okay, so once numbers are graphed on a number line, you can easily see which numbers are bigger and which are smaller to put them in order. Okay. Use what you learned about ordering numbers to solve these problems. Use a number line to help if needed. Show your work on a separate piece of paper. Oh, we don't need to show our work on a separate piece of paper. Okay, so number 14 says, order these numbers from least to greatest. Remember, always important to read those directions. So small to big. Okay, so maybe you need a number line, maybe you don't. But think about money, right? Which would you rather owe, right? You want to owe a smaller amount, and so that means that those would be bigger. So if you look, -8 is the biggest number, so that means it's the least negative, okay? Because you owe somebody way too much money. Then -7 would be the next, then -6, and then -5. So you owe them the most money all the way to you owe the less money. So least to greatest. Okay. All right, take a look at this one. All right, so start with your negatives because we're going with least. So we have a -5, a -3.5, and a -8.2. So 8.2 is the bigger number, but it's negative. So we actually consider that the least negative. Okay. Then we have the -5, and then the -3.5, okay? So they kind of go in that opposite direction. Now we have two positives. So you either have $6 or you have $8.20. So $6 is smaller than $8.20. Okay, so we've put them in order from least to greatest. All right, now it says to order them from greatest to least. So now we want the bigger number first. So if you take a look, okay, we have negatives, so we don't want those first. So we have two positives, 5/4 and 2. If you do not know what 5/4 is, use a calculator. Okay, so 5 divided by 4 equals 1.25. So it's like $1.25. So 1.25. Okay, so you either have $1.25 or you have $2. Well, $2 is the biggest number. Then we have our 5/4, our $1.25. Now let's deal with our negatives. So there again, if you do not know your fractions, use a calculator. So 3 divided by 4 is 75 cents or 0.75. So we have -0.75. So you either owe somebody 75 cents or you owe them $1. Well, so owing somebody 75 cents is less than owing somebody $1. So we're going to start with the 3/4 and then go to that -1. Okay. All right. Again, because we're going with greatest, we want our positives. So we have 3 positives here. Okay. $1.50, $0, or $1.25. So $1.50 is our first biggest number. Then the $1.25, and then $0. Okay. Then we got to deal with our negatives. So we either owe somebody 50 cents or we owe somebody $5. So I would rather owe somebody only 50 cents than I would having to owe them $5. Okay, I know that's confusing. Hopefully the last couple of videos have helped you try to figure out those negatives. Okay, make sure you complete the assignment, try your hardest, and on Wednesday I will post some more videos. Good job, everybody.